All right, we're talking West Scranton football. Jake Manetti, the head coach. Jake, a young coach, and still getting your feet wet with everything, but you have a lot of experience in the coaching field, playing field, of course, not that long ago. Let's talk a little bit about building a culture there at West.
Yeah, so that was one of the first things that we focused on as a staff when we came in, kind of recreating that winning culture. And we really started from square one. We took over late last season, last off season. We were had a decent year to build on. Heading into this off season, we had a full off season with the guys. A lot of guys committed to the weight room, bought into the program. And we took some strides this offseason that we're looking to build on.
You talk about just getting kids excited about playing football. Usually, some wins always help, and sometimes it's not the win column, but wins in other ways. But you're hoping to kind of maybe put a couple of them in the win column as well.
Yeah, like I said, last year we had 2 wins last year, and we were in a couple games that maybe some people thought we shouldn't have been in, but some things to build on that aspect. But for us as a staff, we just try to make it as fun and as attractive as possible to prospective players or students that might be thinking about coming out to play football. We're just trying to create a fun atmosphere, a progressive atmosphere, a positive atmosphere for these kids. Somewhere they could spend 2 to 3 hours a day and enjoy themselves.
The game of football, it's changing a little bit, but you'd like to get some veteran coaches that have kind of been around, and then get some youthful coaches that kind of give that different perspective. Let's talk a little bit about your coaching staff. Do you have that mix, or is it pretty young?
Yeah, so I would say a majority of my staff is young guys like myself. A couple guys that I played with: Joey Bruno, Matt Trotta, Ethan Mulrooney, Corey Suryavong, and there are some West Scranton guys sprinkled in. Jordan McClough, Ray Dominguez. The oldest guy in the staff who's coming back as a volunteer this year, Jimmy Williams. He's kind of like the veteran of the staff. Provides some wisdom and some experience to us young guys. He's been a great addition to have around, but mostly mid 20s, early 20s for the most part on my staff. But you wouldn't know it by being at practice and being around the program. Yeah, we can relate to the kids in other ways that maybe more experienced or an older staff might not be able to. But as far as respect and that aspect of it, I would say that it seems like we've had guys that have been coaches for quite some time, and that's credit to both my coaching staff and as well as the players for accepting their role in us as coaches.
Not much of a difference in the sense of, hey, Old Forge back in the day, a lot of pride. West Scranton has a lot of pride. Community kind of gets behind West Scranton, gets behind Old Forge. Blue collar mentality. So, it's just a little bigger school, but at the same time, you guys, you're doing things your way, the Invader way.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Like you said, it was kind of like an easy, smooth transition for myself and my staff, my guys that are coming with me from Old Forge. Like you said, it's a very it's a very correlating type of atmosphere from Old Forge to the West Side, and in the sense of that tradition and that toughness, that hard work ethic, and that's kind of what we're trying to breed our program. The same values that they had for years and years at West Scranton, we're just kind of trying to reiterate and reignite that fire and that drive and that work ethic in the modern area of West Scranton football. But yeah, like you said, it was an easy transition, for us, and that same type of culture is very much what we're trying to instill in our players now.
A little bit of a chip on your shoulder if you're a West Scranton Invader. Other programs, they might have this, they might have that. But at the same time, you still got to go out and you got to play, and you got to be able to, take advantage of what you can take advantage. So talk a little bit about these kids, believing, getting them to believe, and the confidence. You feel like this year they have a little bit more confidence with that year under your belt in that offseason?
Yeah, you know what? Kind of like you said, like a little bit of an underdog mentality at West Scranton. But I think a lot of the confidence that these kids have is going to come from the work that they put in the offseason. I think a lot of the guys that spent a lot of time in the weight room, spent a lot of time at our optional workouts that began in April. I think those guys are really going to strive, take steps in the right direction. I think that's going to lead to a lot of confidence for them, and, as well as experience to winning some games. I would like to get to a point where when we're in close ball games, we have a thought process that we're going to win the game rather than, oh no, like, it's getting away from us, that type of mentality. I want to create, a culture where if it's a close game, okay, we know late third quarter, it's a 7-point game. We're gonna come out on top, and we're working towards that. And I think the kids really bought into that idea, and have put the time in the weight room. And I think that's where a lot of the confidence for them is going to come.
You're a young guy. A lot of times you get young coaches that think, hey, we got to throw the ball 70 times. How about that part of you where maybe you're a little bit grounded in the sense of, hey, we're going to have to run the football sometimes, or we're going to have to really excel in defense first? Maybe some older school thought on what you might need to do with putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, I mean, that's my values. My core values is predicated around winning first down, running the football, stopping the run. Last year, maybe I didn't get to run as much as I would like, just based on what was going on for us up front. Maybe I had to spread it out a little bit more than I would like to, coming from, the prototypical balanced 21 personnel that I grew up playing. But like you said, we want to get back to establishing the run game and, winning first down on offense, second and 6 or less, and, winning first down on defense, second and 8 plus. And, that started again with, what kind of program did we have in the off season? What were these kids doing? Were they in the weight room? Because, a lot of that comes from physicality and aggressiveness. So.
You and I had talked a bunch or texted a bunch. It was July, it was August. Things literally were crazy. And, through nobody's fault, it's just the way things went down. A little bit slower process this year. You guys are getting those passing scrimmages under your belt. You're doing what you need to do. Success this year for West Grant, what will it be? Will it be in that wins and loss column, or will it just be taking a step with these kids and believing?
Yeah, you know what? I would certainly like to see progress in the win, in the win column, the win-loss column. But for us as a program, we still want to stand by our values and what we want, the direction we want our program to go in. So ultimately, it's going to be the progression of the kids throughout the year. What does our team look like at the beginning of the year? What does it look like at the end of the year? Both as a team, and for these kids as individuals. Are they good academically beginning to end? Do they sustain their grades after football season? For our graduating kids, are they looking into colleges? Do they have that opportunity? Are they taking care of everything they need to do on and off the field? For us as a program, we're going to continue to focus in that direction, and hoping that as a result of doing things that way, that the wins are going to come.
You sure sound like a coach. Jake Manetti, great to see you. Great to hear from you, and we wish you the best this year for the Invaders.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.